Hi, Deborah. Thank you for your patience. I know you commented on this a while ago, and I remember seeing it, but I'm like, oh my God, that's going to be a good video. So let me explain. This, exactly what your son is doing, is very, very, very common with all our learners. It's the inflexibility, denial, like accepting no, understanding transitions are very difficult. I literally just created a bunch of there's 7 categories that I noticed that our friends have trouble with because of like autism traits, which I mentioned earlier. So inflexibility, accepting no, tolerating denied access. Those are all going to be in one category. Then we have transitioning. Transitioning is such a big issue. We have a functional communication training, which is FCT. We have advocacy goals, right? We have elopement goals, emotional regulation, and then the social skills goals I created. Now, outside of those social skills parts, the accepting no, the flexibility, denied access, the transitioning, the elopement, those are all 3 goals that you need to work on at the same time. Because and emotional regulation, like, because when they're denied access, you got to think of it, they're in a school, right? Let's say that, oh, it's E-Day and they're going to the library, but you have to walk by the gym and they want to go to gym. They can't go to gym. There's a gym class going on right now, okay? We have to go sit in a library who's not that the funnest, special. But my whole point is, you have to figure out when you're going to set boundaries and set that boundary. You need to set boundaries and when you can be flexible. That is something that you have to set the boundary on. Why? Because it's the beginning of the school year, but also we have 10 more months of him having to be accepting that he can't go to gym when we go to library on E-days because it's time for library and not gym. So he has to learn to navigate his feelings, emotionally regulate, and he said tolerate denied access. He needs to work on the flexibility because guess what? For the next 10 months, every single day he's going to have to walk past that gym. So he's going to have a very hard time in the beginning of the school or when there's transition errors because he's still getting acclimated to the whole system and schedule and routine. But also you need to know when to set boundaries and when you could be a little flexible, because if it's something that you know that you're going to have to contact every single day, like the consistency in the schedule, or like every day you get service providers during this day, you see what I mean? Like there's stuff that there's no negotiating. So he needs to focus on emotional regulation. And then also too, you gotta think of it, these kids are so young, like they haven't experienced these emotions, like they're really experiencing them, and they have to learn to cope with these big strong feelings. So it's like, okay, how do we know when we're getting mad? Oh, I clench my fist, I get hot, or I start to get sweaty, you know what I mean? Boys always turn red. Like they need to learn to label what's going on with their body so that they know, oh, I'm getting hot, let me calm down, let me go take a couple reps, let me go walk around real quick, and be more proactive and mindful than reactive. But it takes time. So that we as the adults in the environment need to model to the student how to behave, how to react to their emotions, how we all can be safe in the same environment when we're experiencing this. Okay, that's why we don't get mad when they have big behaviors. No, you're neutral always, because you are the learning opportunity for them to change their behaviors and shape it to something that's more acceptable.